Welcome to the course of Level 8 API Development Tutorial. This is part 4. Inside this video, we are going to create our first program inside Laravel. So if I back to folder structure, this is the application what we had installed inside last video. Now to create first program, we need a route, we need a controller, as well as we need a layout file. So step by step, we will create all these files inside this application setup. So if I back to terminal, first of all, we will create a controller. So to create controller, we will use a command, that is command provided by Laravel something PHP Artisan. By the help of Artisan command, we will create controller. So go here. Now if I type the command called PHP Artisan, pressing enter. After typing this PHP Artisan, it is going to give us a command palette. This is the command palette which is going to actually provide several functionalities, several features when we run any command from this command palette. So for now, let's say that if we are interested to create any controller, go inside this make section. Inside this make section, we have a command called make:controller. So when we run the command called PHP Artisan as a prefix, after this PHP Artisan, when we type make controller name we need to pass, then it will create a new controller class. Now if we want to learn all about, let's say if we are interested to see the help manual of this make controller command, simply go here and type the command called PHP Artisan help for the help manual and the command name. So we need the help manual guide for this make controller. Pressing enter. Now as you can see that this is the help manual guide of make controller. So when we use this make controller, we need to pass an argument, and that argument is something the name of the class. And here we have several options what actually optional if we want to pass while creating this controller. So right now this is our very first program. So simply we will create a very basic controller without any options. So let's say PHP Artisan make controller, and we will call it as test controller. Now pressing enter, as we can see that controller created successfully. Now if we go inside this application structure, so where we will find that file what we had created via PHP Artisan. So we had created a controller. So controllers by default will store inside this setup, inside this app folder, http controllers, and here we will find test controller. So this is the skeleton. Now inside this skeleton we will add a method. So let's say public function. Now inside this, let's say we are creating a sample method. Inside this we will pass for now a static message, let's say within h1 element. Welcome to test controller. Now save this change. Now next we need to create a route so that when we call that route into the browser, that route will point or call the sample method. So for route configuration inside this setup, inside Laravel application, we will go inside routes folder and open web.php. In the next videos, when we will learn about API development, API.php file will be used. This is for API development and this is for web application development. So if I click on this file, now go here, by default it will provide a welcome page. So inside this file, first of all we will use this test controller, so we need to import that. So use test controller. So successfully we have imported. This test controller is coming from app, http and controllers folder. If we go to its namespace app http controllers, and inside this controllers folder we have test controller. So go here, let's create a route that is with the get request type, and inside this we'll call it as sample, making an array. Inside this we have the test controller, and inside this test controller, which is a class, and inside this class we will have this sample method. So if we save all these changes, now we have configured or created a controller and added a route inside this web.php. Now next, to test this application, we need to start our development server. So PHP Artisan serve. The application has started into 8001 port. So if I open this link into the browser, this is our landing page, what we had seen by the help of this route. We will understand in a bit. So for now, this is the route what we had to test. So simply I will copy this route back to browser and type the name called sample, and as we can see that this is the static message what we had supplied inside this sample method. This is only for the static message. Now let's say that we are going to create a view file and we will render the message from that file. So to return or to use a view file, we will use view helper function. So let's return view. We will create a sample file. So let's say sample view, this is the name, and inside Laravel application for the view file we have the template engine which has the extension called .bleed.php. It means this is the view file. We are going to call this for this method. So when we create this view file, the file name is something sample-view.bleed.php. .bleed.php, what is this? This is the extension of Laravel bleed templates. So if I copy this name, all the view files will be created inside this resources folder and views folder. So go here, sample view.bleed.php. Now inside this file, what I will do, simply I will copy this static message, go here, and let's say calling from view file. Now if we save, successfully we have linked this view file into this sample method we are returning here. So save these changes, go and reload this page, and as we can see that we are getting that static message. In some cases, if we want to pass some values, dynamic values from this method to this view file, we can also pass that, making the second parameter here, passing an array. Let's say that name equals to, this is the name we are passing, email. So here we have two key value pairs. In terms of an array, we are passing to this view file. Now inside this view file, all these values will be available. The thing is that these two keys now they will appear as a variable inside this view file. So to print, let's say PHP, and if I type echo name, if I wrap this into a paragraph tag, let's open up the second paragraph, pasting it here, and this is for the email address. Now save this change, go and reload. As we can see that this is the name and this is the email value. We have the shorthand operator of this PHP syntax. Inside this syntax, as we can see that to print any value, this is the length. So is there any shortcut way to print any value inside PHP? Yes, we have. For the shortcut, what we will do, simply get rid of this PHP and echo. In place of that, simply put equals to sign. For this PHP and echo, put equals to sign. All we have done. Save these changes, go and reload this page. As we can see that we have the same output. And the last thing for this video is all about the understanding all about this route. So route get, it means for the welcome page, and here inside this callback function we are returning a view file. As for the video, as we know that if we are returning any view file, so the view file name has the extension called bleed.php. So this is the file we are returning. This file will be available inside resources folder, views folder, and look at this file welcome.bleed.php. And this function is known as closer function. So this is an example of closer route because this route is not using any controller. Instead, here we have the first value as a route, and in the second value we have the function, means callback function, and inside this callback function we are returning a view file. So this is an example of closer route. So as this is our first program, so all we have the basic concept we had discussed. Now in the next video we had seen, or we will see, the concept of migration inside Laravel. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.